morning, race fans, and welcome back to the Metro Ford Cup Series here at the Old Bastards Racing League. We're bringing it to you live, 1080p, 60 frames a second. As always, my name is James East on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting, and today we're at the virtual Kansas Speedway into the playoffs of the regular season, and looking forward to another great day of racing. As always, thank you to everybody who tunes in from across the world, making these shows what they are. As Eddie Jones currently sitting on top of pole in that number 14 Chevrolet. He got chased by Greg McDaniel. John Hinchcliffe currently in the top three with provisional qualifying. As we watch Larry Corey out on track. 12 drivers have put down times thus far. With about the remaining half not yet able putting down a time. Let's see what Larry Corey at 17. He clicks off a 33.45. Get down to a 31.65. if he wants to find himself in that pole position. Let us know as we're live on Twitch, YouTube, and the race will be immediately online on the Team Goon Squad Roku channel following today's broadcast. But let us know where you're from, who you're cheering on. As Corey able to slide up into 12th. Now we still have Ken Huff, Garrett Strandberg, D. Gear, Tom Ogle, MacArthur, Hastings have all yet to put down a time. As I say that, looks like Turner in the number 76 Ford Mustang getting ready to go out for his qualifying run. About 4 minutes left in qualifying here today. Now last week it was Dwayne MacArthur picking up the win at Darlington to fire off the opening 3 rounds of playoffs. After today at Kansas and next week at Bristol, we're going to whittle it down to 12 drivers. Playoff 3 more rounds. Texas, Talladega, Charlotte, and even more drivers will get cut away as we get down to the final 8 and then the final 4. They will all be decided. November 6th at the Phoenix Raceway. Turner out on track looking for his first time lap in the 76. Dwayne MacArthur, last week's winner, also rolling out on track in the 83 Chevrolet. See what Turner can do on his opening lap. Moves up to 12, a 32.07. Will anybody be able to compete against Eddie Jones in that number 14 machine squarely on top of pole? McDaniel got close, only 100th of a second off. Now Ogle and MacArthur out on tracks. That's 2 big titans that we know are going to come out and put down some hot laps here. See if Turner improves on a 32.07 as he slides just a little bit through 4, dropping way down low, making that track as small as he can. And what's it going to be for Turner? Like a 32.03. MacArthur with a 33.07. Ryan Glass also out on track in the 87 machine. $15 drivers have put down times thus far. Turner comes down pit road. He's in 13th. Wayne MacArthur has moved up the standings into 3rd with a 31.78. Glass, his opening lap, a good one, 31.89, immediately launching up into 8th. Let's see if Tom Ogle's number 11 machine has anything for the fans here at Kansas. The always White Claw sponsored number 11 machine. What's it going to be? Last time by 32.46, and look at Ogle. He's going to launch up there into 6th, a 31.85. And it looks like that's going to be it for drivers in qualifying as we've got less than a minute left to go here. 17 drivers have put down times. About 5 or 6 have yet to put down a time, and I don't think they will. They'll be starting from the back row here at Kansas. as Ogle continues getting a little bit more practice laps in. And that's going to do it here for qualifying at Kansas, as we get ready to take the grid for today's main event. And let's go ahead and run through today's starting order. Eddie Jones starting on pole. Greg McDaniel starts second. Wayne MacArthur starting third. John Hinchcliffe starting fourth. Michael Watts starting fifth. Tom Ogle will be starting sixth. Steve the Mule Thompson starting seventh. Jonathan Green starting eighth. Ryan Glass starts ninth. Dakota Pischke, Grandpa Pischke as he's called by the fans, starting 10th. Bert Dodson starting 11th. Brian Lindsay starting 12th. Cycling back to Lloyd Moore, he starts 13th. Mike Schrader starting 14th. Al Turner starts 15th. Larry Corey starting 16th. Chris Clark starts 17th. Ken Huff starting 18th. Kevin Strandberg starting 19th. John Hastings starting 20th. Cam Chastain starting 21st. Garrett Cottingham starting 22nd. And Dean Gear starting 23rd. And I think I just noticed something. Chastain's last name is actually Shosey. I believe I've been hoodwinked by the admins here. As we roll off of pit road, get ready to fire things up. 150 laps. Eddie Jones, Greg McDaniel on the front row. Hinchcliffe, Ogle, your second row. And MacArthur and Watts, I believe, will make up the third row here as we get them sorted into position. Now, the OBRL Racing League runs several different series throughout the week, and there's been a multitude of different winners here at Kansas, so no one odds-on favorite. As we go green flag racing, Eddie Jones with a good start. Daniel up on the high line. Keep an eye out MacArthur's 83 machine trying to work the bottom lane, as well as Ogle, who slides in front of Michael Watts. Jones with a small amount of a breakaway there, as the field's going to try and get sorted out here. Your top four all single file. Ogle rounding out there. Let's make it in the top five as Ogle's bright pink number 11 machine tries to get sorted in. A little bit of diving around there, but around Steve Thompson. He's looking to the outside line of Michael Watts, trying to make something happen. Now, I believe no white line rule is in effect here today, so drivers have a little bit more leeway where they can go out on track, but only 7 incident points available and no fast repairs for these drivers. So if you wad up your machine, you are done and out. Ogle working the inside line against Hinchcliffe. Hinchcliffe is now down one spot. Keep an eye out for Jonathan Green's 37 machine. He's picked up 2 positions early on so far today. But he's going to have company as Hinchcliffe trying to hold on to on the outside line, but there goes Green up the inside. Green's going to try and make it a 2-for-1, putting the pressure on Ogle. looks like Green may be able to make it happen here. He's happy on that bottom line. Ogle running a bit more intermediate, about midway up the racetrack. You can see just ahead, that's Dwayne MacArthur. Right on the back of Greg McDaniel's number 30 machine now. MacArthur locked in the playoffs, but he still wants another win here. And we've got Schrader join us on the YouTube side of the broadcast. The white line rule was discussed in drivers' meeting today. I was able to sit in on it. They're trying something out just a little bit different here. Maybe just for the track. I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to be a series lasting rule. I think it's just going to be a possibly Kansas and other track rule. But we are going to have a caution coming out. And it's going to be a big one. Dakota Pischke, Larry Corey, Al Turner all tied up in that one. Get the replay queued up for you here. And look at that. I think Pischke is going to be a victim to the 26 of Lloyd Moore. Drivers getting together, and Pischke's going to go for a wild ride. Unfortunately, spinning up into traffic, collecting the 17-16. That's Larry Corey in the 17. Excuse me, that's the 76, it looks like, of Al Turner. Rookie Cottingham slides through. That's going to be the first caution of the night. Larry Corey has taken a tow back to pit road. He's going to be done and out. And I did get clarification as well. We have a maximum of 7 incident points. However, and I think this is where Mike Schrader on the YouTube side of the broadcast may be thinking where his head is on this one. If drivers do not get any incident points, they get 5 bonus points. Larry Corey towed to pit road. Dakota Pischke looks like he's going to be done and out. Also accompanied by Lloyd Moore, and now the rest of the field as everybody comes down pit road. Only 6 laps into this thing. And already drivers, teams, and crew chiefs are going to be doing a little bit of math here. See how this is going to shape up the fuel runs. And it looks like Greg McDaniel is going to be the race leader coming off of pit road here. Eddie Jones shows second, MacArthur third, Jonathan Green, Tom Ogle will round out the top 5. Again, this is the first caution so far of the night here at Kansas. We will wait to get gridded up behind that iRacing safety car. Again, Moore, Pischke, Corey, all down pit road. Not sure they're going to be able to get back out on track here. Looks like all drivers still at the virtual raceway, so haven't officially put it in the hauler here yet. They may try and get back out there. We'll start getting the field gridded up double file. Wade Jones making his way up to the front row to accompany McDaniel for this restart. Woodmore has returned to the racetrack, as well as Larry Corey. They're going to be a few laps down here, but if they keep piling up some race cars up towards the front, that may allow them to get those laps back. Try and salvage their chase playoffs. Pace car is in. And we are green flag racing once more at Kansas. Jones going to try and work the high line. MacArthur staying down low. Looks like Jones will be able to slot in here. Keep an eye on Jonathan Green. He's been making big moves. He's up 4 spots so far in that number 37 machine. Currently 4th out on track, and he's running a bit higher line here, as well as Steve Thompson in the yellow and black 67. But looked like Green almost tagged the wall there. Now Ogle's going to try and fire back the inside line, the battle for 4th. Green still staying very far up ahead. Larry Corey's come down pit road, not happy with the repairs that were made, and unfortunately, he is going to put it back in the hauler. He is done and out of this event. Green looks like he's locked in that 4th place spot. Let's see what type of move he makes. Go a little bit further back. It's a very busy racetrack, as it looked like that was Bert Dodson, Mike Schrader. A little bit of contact there between the two as they go side by side. Just ahead, that was also Michael Watts, Brian Lindsay. Wheel to wheel, door to door. A good save out of Schrader and Dodson after a little bit of contact. You guys are hitting speeds mid 190 miles an hour far back in the draft pad. Things change rather quickly there at 200 miles an hour. Looks like drivers trying to get a little sorted out, a little formed up, and maybe get a fuel run underway. But from about 10th place back, a very, very busy racetrack. We focus in on Brian Lindsay trying to make a move on Mike Schrader. It's about to be a 3-car battle for 9th. It's Schrader, Watts, Lindsay all making moves here. As Schrader in the bush back, number 4, Ford Mustang. He's up 5 spots so far tonight. As something has happened to Jonathan Green, he has fallen all the way back to number 37. So he's definitely got problems early on, despite the massive charge he made towards the front. It's still going to be McDaniel, Jones, MacArthur, your top 3, with Ogle and Thompson rounding out the top 5. But Green's going to try and fire back here against Schrader. The run of that 37 machine starting to stall, and the field's going to stack up right behind. Schrader continuing his charge forward, now up 6 positions. Jonathan Green's just going to try and hold on to it here and hope we get a caution for. He's hoping we get a caution so he can try and come down pit road and fix whatever he has going on. Checking back up front, Greg McDaniel, your race leader, taking it away from Eddie Jones. They've got about a 3/4 second breakaway from Dwayne MacArthur back in third. As we panned, yeah, there you can see MacArthur. He's got Ogle right behind him. Looks like Thompson and Hinchcliffe have linked up, running 5th and 6th. MacArthur will be one of those drivers. He's saying, hey, I'm willing to try out this white line rule, see what we can get going on. Derek Cottingham, number 114, a newer driver, a triple-digit rookie driver here in the Metro Ford Cup Series. He's gained 11 spots so far, and Dean Gear's going to follow him along in the KFC back 92, also making it 11 spots as Gear works up into 12th. Looks like both of our rookie drivers doing pretty well. Cottingham in the 114, up 11 spots into 11. We've also got Cam Shosey in the 118. He's running 16th up 5 spots so far. I think Taco Bell back there. Yes, it is the Taco Bell 118 machine. Working around Ken Huff's 46. Great racing all the track as that's Jonathan Green and Dean Gear side by side in the battle for 12th. Cottingham, a 114, looking for a top 10 here, tucked in by about 0.2 of a second behind Michael Watts in the 84. Ahead of them, that's Schrader and Lindsay going at it for 8. The Code Red back to 114 Chevrolet, trying to see what ground he can make on Watts, but we're at the point where some drivers are going to start feeling the effects of premature tire wear. Ooh, as I say that, the rookie tags the outside line in 4. He's going to lose a spot to Jonathan Green as well as Dean Gear, as there is a 3-car shootout just ahead. That's Lindsay, Schrader, Watts, all in the fray. Lindsay and Schrader are going to go side by side through 1 and 2, come out in the back stretch. Lindsay holds on to it, the number 24 machine, and here comes Watts in the 84, looking to the inside line of Schrader. Will he be able to make it stick, though? Schrader seems like he's trying to carry a little bit more speed up on the high line, a little bit of netcode there, possibly. Still, good racing all the way around is now Ogle fighting for the final podium spot, looking to the inside line of Dwayne MacArthur's 83. It's the White Claw 11 and the Bass Pro 83 going at it. Steve Thompson is 67, watching behind from his 5th place point of view to see what's going to happen here in the battle for the front. Ogle looking for an opening that he just can't find as of yet. Dakota Pischke's going to roll back out on track after 11 and a half minutes in his pit stall. MacArthur running much higher line here at Kansas. Ogle's been trying down low. Looks like Dean Gear having a little bit of issues. He stepped out onto the apron. And now MacArthur saying, I've got pressure from behind, I've got to go. It's going to be battling for the 2nd place spot with Eddie Jones way down as we hint at 3 wide. MacArthur and Jones going to block the way for Tom Ogle. And it's a 3-car shootout for 2nd, possibly a 4th if Thompson throws himself into the mix. MacArthur down low, Jones up high. Somehow Jones able to hold on to that 2nd place spot Watt as Greg McDaniel out front has a massive 1.1 second lead. Gotta be happy to see everybody battling behind him as now here comes Ogle looking the inside line of MacArthur. MacArthur tucked in behind Jones. Mike Schrader has come down pit road, a very early stop, 25 laps into this main event. And look at the three-car battle for second, as it looks like Jones has tagged the outside wall. Gonna fall back to fourth. MacArthur takes over to second. Ogle slides his way up into third. Daniel does not have the draft support out front, but he is rocking and rolling here, enjoying the laps led. Now we're expecting the fuel window to be about 55 to 60 laps out of these drivers, as Ogle and Jones try and work together slightly to close the gap to MacArthur running second. McDaniel out in a different zip code at this point, 1.4 seconds ahead of the fast Canadian Dwayne MacArthur. Like hard charger out on track is going to be Cam Shosey in the 118. He's got pressure from the other triple-digit driver, Garrett Cottingham, in what is now the battle for 12th. Right behind them, that's Dean Gear, John Hastings, Al Turner. Trying to watch in this battle unfold, and these drivers, these rookie drivers with triple digits, unable to qualify as it looks like they make contact. It's rookie on rookie violence here in Kansas, as Cottingham struggles to hold on to it in the 114 machine. He's off in the grass, wisely takes the time to collect himself down on the apron. What a good save out of the 114. A little bit further ahead, a freight train from 6th place on back. It's Brian Lindsay, the number 24 machine. He briefly had Brian Glass and Michael Watson linked in single file behind him, but looks like Glass trying the high line as Watts goes low. Gear coming down pit road for his first stop. Garrett Cottingham also coming down pit road. I wonder if he might have flat spotted those tires here. Hinchcliffe trying to make the inside line work against Brian Glass. There's Jonathan Green, Kevin Strandberg right behind. Now up front, there's been a few changes. Greg McDaniel has been very slowly losing time to Dwayne MacArthur, about 1/10 to 2/10 per lap. The gap now down to a half second here. McDaniel and that KimBullNet.net, sponsor number 30 Chevrolet, knows that MacArthur and Ogle are closing the gap ever so slowly. McDaniel pulling another gap though. Let's go a little bit further as Hinchcliffe, Brian Glass, and Kevin Strandberg A pretty wild shootout just inside the top 10. Hinchcliffe holds on to the ninth place spot as Glass tries to fire back. And oh, we got something going on. We got to pan the camera back up front as MacArthur and Ogle side by side. Ogle has to back out of it slightly, maybe getting a little bit loose there. Two longtime rivals and friends always put on some great wheel-to-wheel racing each and every week here at the Metro Ford Cup Series. Looks like the field stretching out ever so slightly. Looks like we have 17 drivers on the lead lap, at least 2 that have had to retire for the evening. Mike Schrader joining that list, the number 4 machine, retiring on lap 25. Larry Corey, unfortunately, back to the virtual hauler on lap 6. That's going to put Dean Gear, Garrett Cottingham, Lloyd Moore, and Dakota Pish one, if not several laps down here. Expecting the fuel window to open up around lap 65. It looks like Ogle still keeping the pressure right there on MacArthur's 83 machine. The battle for second. Eddie Jones in fourth, Steve Thompson in fifth, going to try and slowly close that gap over the duration of the run, but right now drivers in prime time fuel and tire saving strategies. Gap closing inside the top 3, really the whole top 5 starting to bunch up ever so slightly. Let's go see what's happening here in 14. The rookie Shosi battling out with Ken Huff in the 46. Looks like Shosi getting a little bit of snap loose there through 4. This is that tire wear we were talking about. Chris Clark, the 91 machine, coming down pit road for an early stop as well. Daniel crosses the start-finish line to begin his 50th lap of the night. Daniel still holding on to about a 4/10 advantage over MacArthur. So a very good run here on that number 30 machine. Now McDaniel is one of our playoff drivers of this season, and he has managed to secure his way up into 6th without winning a single race. He's qualified on pole twice, so we know he has the pace, but has not had the luck and fortune go his way. McDaniel would like nothing more to pick up his first win of the season during the playoffs and lock himself into the next round. Oh, what's going on with Ogle? Ogle coming down pit road very early. He's going to get off strategy here. Ogle coming down pit road. That's going to put Eddie Jones back up into 3rd. Steve Thompson, Michael Watts rounding out the top 5. Very interesting to see Ogle off strategy, trying something different. As Jones has a big run trying to catch back up to MacArthur. And this will be the battle for second, as most drivers inside the top 15 all came down pit road on lap 6. Looks like everybody took 4 fresh tires as well as a tank of gas. And there goes Jones working his way back up into second. Will Jones, finding a little bit of mid to late run speed, be able to close the gap to McDaniel? It looks like he may, as already it's about 3/10 between McDaniel and Eddie Jones, first and second. And look at the talented field here in the top 5. That's McDaniel, Jones, MacArthur, Thompson, Watts. Separated by about a second, it looks like. As here comes Jones, jogging up towards the front. Looks like MacArthur may have tagged the wall out there in the number 83. And look at this, it's a 3-car battle for the lead. Eddie Jones crosses the line up in first. McDaniel was second, but now MacArthur's gonna slide on through. And look, here comes Steve Thompson. Just like that, McDaniel's gonna go from race leader to fourth, if not fifth, as Watts takes a peek into the inside line. McDaniel gonna try and stay in the draft of the new top 3 drivers. Now, out of this group, Steve Thompson's made the biggest gains. He's up 4 spots so far, so it looks like Watts trying to make it in the top 4. McDaniel slides back into 5th. McDaniel seeing things get a little bit upside down rather quickly. He's going to try and tuck in as Eddie Jones maintains that race lead. And look at the gap that Jones has put on here. Oh no, we've got problems. That's Shwayne MacArthur. A heavy hit. We looked at the stand as he started to fall off, and he's going to have to take a tow. What happened here? What just happened? And back to MacArthur. Very uncharacteristic. Get a little bit of help there, I wonder? Looks. What just happened? Watching MacArthur in the 83 Bass Pro Machine. Just slides down the apron, comes up on a track that gets Jonathan Green in that one. Ryan Lindsay, I believe, Dean Gear. Wow. That is something I don't think I've ever seen here. Such a bobble, such a mistake from MacArthur. And it's going to collect a whole lot of drivers. MacArthur takes the tow to pit road. That's going to be our second caution of the night. Here's down pit road. Trying to see who else is going to be here for lengthy repairs. Now Jones, Thompson, Watts, McDaniel all staying out. Like Tom Ogle getting the wave around. Here in and out relatively quickly. Must not have had too much damage. Looks like Al Turner out of today's main event in the 76. And John Hinchcliffe, Jonathan Green, Brian Lindsay with extended stays in pit road. Try and get those machines fixed up. Jones and Thompson down pit road. That's going to have Michael Watts, Greg McDaniel on the front row for this restart, running first and second. Interesting to see the strategy out of Jones and Thompson to come down pit road later than the rest of the field. They're going to fall way back, I think, outside the top 10 here. Ogle also coming down pit road late after getting his wave around. And it looks like we're going to be joined by Dwayne MacArthur, the 83 machine, after that horrific wreck on lap, I think it was 50. Man, what happened out there?
I think I ran out of talent.
Yeah, very, very uncharacteristic. We were almost wondering if it was a hardware failure, seeing you dip down onto the apron and then tried to collect it. And I mean, these next-gen Cup cars get snapped loose in the best of conditions. So what did it feel like once you tagged that apron and you realized, oh no, it's about to get ugly?
Yeah, no, I looked in my mirror and Ogle was there on fresh tires coming in hot. I felt like he was closing in on me too fast, so I ducked on the apron sooner than I normally would. And once I did, and I was going just too fast when I got on the apron because of that. So trying to be safe cost me being safe, I guess.
Yeah, that'll get you. I know Ogle's definitely going to have a talk to you in the old trailer after today's main event, but I know not the run you're looking for, but correct me if I'm wrong, you were still locked into the next round of playoffs after last week's win. Is that correct?
Yeah, the win at Darlington got me through, so I was just kind of riding there and just trying to bring it home somewhere safe and have an uneventful day, and well, that didn't happen.
Wayne, hate to hear it for you, buddy. We'll let you go as we get ready to grid and back up double file, but thank you for the time, and looking forward to the post-meeting report later on how that one goes.
Yeah, sounds good, bud. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. That was Dwayne MacArthur joining us from the Virtual Care Center, doing relatively all right in good spirits, and having to give out a whole lot of apologies to some good friends on that one. Here we go, gridded back up, double file. It's Michael Watts, Greg McDaniel on the front row, Brian Glass, Kevin Strandberg, your second row, and John Hastings and Bert Dodson will be your third row. Green flag racing once more here at Kansas. Watts will be our race leader for the first time this evening in the 84. As McDaniel, Glass, Strandberg, all trying to see who's going to be sorting it out inside the top five. Kevin Strandberg and John Hastings, fourth and fifth. Actually, let's retract that. As what just happened, McDaniel and Watts. Oh no, McDaniel spins up into the track. The caution is out. Thankfully, nobody hit him. Oh, when we get a report, a large portion of the field got a black flag for pitting too soon. But I think McDaniel was trying to come down pit road. Right behind Watts, almost got into Watts, took evasive maneuvers. but then spun up into the track. We're going to have a very quick caution here. But we got to report a large portion of the field got a black flag for entering closed pits. And I think that's why we saw Watts and McDaniel coming down pit road. McDaniel took massively evasive maneuvers to avoid getting to the back of the 84 machine and pitched right back onto a hot track here. We're all trying to figure out what is happening. And to see who may still have black flags to be served. They have to serve those under green flag conditions. And with the back-to-back cautions, that's going to be extremely difficult to do here. In addition to only having 7 incident points available. We're going to try and get things sorted out under our third caution of the night. Larry Corey confirming what I'm thinking on the YouTube side of the broadcast. What an absolute crazy and wild race this has been so far. The playoffs providing all the excitement. Right up behind the iRacing safety car. Let's try this once more. And we are green flag racing once more at Kansas. Strandberg, a little bit slow to get off the line there. Brian Glass on the high side. Controlling the start, Strandberg in that 58. He's up 17 positions. John Hastings back and forth, up 16 spots. As things are bunching up from fourth place back, that's Ken Huff with John Hastings, Cam Shosey, and Steve Thompson. Where did the rookie come from in the 118 machine? He's up 15 spots gained. Looking to make it 16 as he works his way inside the top 5. Not quite to the halfway mark of the evening. And in theory, we should be good to go green till about lap 110 or so. Ogle down pit road, the number 11 machine. Let's see, are we going to see a large portion of the field have to serve any black flags here? As Glass and Strandberg having a pretty substantial breakaway. Greg McDaniel down pit road. Handing back to Ken Huff. He's got company in that third place spot. Now he is up 15 spots. But he's got Dodson, Shosey, Thompson all in the fray. And Shosey has a bit of a bobble as Thompson and Dodson take over the 4th and 5th place spot. There's Ogle returning back out on track. Thompson's lost a little bit of time to Ken Huff. He's going to try and work with Hinchcliffe and Dodson. Mostly in single file to close the gap and get back within podium fighting position. Brian Glass, your race leader, he's got about 3/10 over Kevin Strandberg. Daniel out of pit road. He spent 45 seconds in his stall, I think serving that penalty. And look at Ken Huff go, fighting for second side by side with Strandberg. All top 3 drivers on a last pit stop under lap 50. And things are bunching up here. Brian Glass, your race leader, has company with a freight train behind him. Here comes Huff, Strandberg, Thompson, Hinchcliffe. As Huff's going to challenge for the race lead here with Brian Glass. Huff takes a peek up the inside line. Thompson has moved up into 3rd. And look at this absolute fray. Huff, Thompson, Hinchcliffe, Glass going at it. 4 drivers looking to take over the leads. Thompson's down on the inside line with the draft support of Hinchcliffe. Huff falling back a little bit in the 46 machine. He's in no man's land on the high side as Brian Glass looks to be following the inside line as well. There's Kevin Strandberg just holding on to a top 5. Seeing what he can do here. As Thompson has the race lead, but for how long as Hinchcliffe looks hungry for it. Hinchcliffe gonna dive to the inside line. He will be the race leader by just about 0.05 of a second. We're not even to the halfway mark tonight, and these drivers absolutely going at it. Hinchcliffe up 3 spots from where he started. Your current race leader. Nobody knows how long that will be for. As Hinchcliffe going to stretch his legs out front. Let's go back to the battle for 6th. Dean Gear and Huff have been side by side. Here in the KFC back 92 Chevrolet is now up 17 positions. Tonight's hard charger sitting 6th place. And he's going to try and close that gap to Eddie Jones and Fitz. See if he can work just a little bit higher. It looks like Jones has company from Ogle trying to get a lap back here at the number 11 machine. 2 laps down, I believe, as it currently sits. Kind of watching to see here. There's Brian Glass sitting in 3rd. He's got Strandberg 2/10 off of him as Ogle putting those fresh tires to work, slicing back up to the field. As Hinchcliffe, your race leader, broken away by about 9/10 of a second. Thompson gonna go high to let Ogle work through. And number 11 machine as Hinchcliffe now has a 1.2 second advantage over the rest of the field. 11 drivers on the lead lap. Thompson still holding on to his 2nd place run. Brian Glass tucked in behind him. Gonna have a long way to go though before the next scheduled pit stop. Drivers having to remember not to use up too much tire too early. Got a battle for the top 10. That's John Hastings trying to fend off Cam Shosey. As Bert Dodson sits right in front of that 32 machine. Now Hastings having a good night as well. He's up 10 positions gained. And a relatively clean race car. 5 drivers have been put into retirement early on from this back in the virtual hauler. Jonathan Green, Al Turner, Dwayne MacArthur, Mike Schrader, Larry Corey, all done and out. There's John Hinchcliffe, your race leader, a half second ahead of Thompson and Glass, who are still staying relatively linked up. Thompson seems like he's happy running inside line. Glass going a bit mid to high around the banking. Right there behind Thompson. Maybe trying to use that draft, but these two are not gaining too much time on the number 8, your race leader, John Hinchcliffe. We also see Eddie Jones, Kevin Strandberg staying within frame as well as Glass takes a peek inside line of Thompson, trying something different than his normal middle line as we are past the halfway mark of today's main event. It's Hinchcliffe, Thompson, Glass, Jones, and Strandberg. Your top 5, Dean Gear in 6, are hard charging tonight. He's up 17 spots. Thompson holding on to second. Glass losing a fair amount of time. He's now about a half second off the back of that 67 machine. And Thompson wicking it up a little bit, closing the gap to Hinchcliffe. May have another battle for the lead in the next, it could be the next lap. As Glass has Eddie Jones as well as Strandberg right behind him. Here we go, the battle for the lead. Steve Thompson focusing in on the number 8 of Hinchcliffe. Thompson going low in the yellow and black. Hinchcliffe run that middle line. The predominantly black number 8 machine. Hinchcliffe a bit of a bobble there. Like he was fighting to put the power down. The rear end dancing around late in the run. You guys have been out on these tires for at least 30 laps. And Thompson taking over the race, leading that 67. Heat up, 6th position gain. As Eddie Jones looks like he's worked his way up into 3rd. Again, now side by side with Brian Glass. Glass falling back slightly. Strandberg in the 58 looking to take advantage of the situation, see if he can throw his nose up into the mix. And now Hinchcliffe's going to have more pressure from behind with Jones looking for that 2nd place spot. Thompson still in about a half second ahead of the number 8. Interesting to see what the lap time show. Last time by, Thompson a 34.2, Hinchcliffe a 34.4, and Jones with a 34 flat as Jones works the inside line. Fighting for the 2nd place spot. They're 2 wide, 2 deep right behind them. That's Glass and Strandberg. The top 5 is all here and ready to party. And look at that, 3 different lines coming into turn 3. And look at Dean Gear back there in 6th. He's got Michael Watts pressuring him. Watts with several lap newer tires. He came to lap 58 with the majority of the drivers in front of him. 8 lap older tires coming around that lap 50, 51 mark. So keep an eye out for the 84 as he's going to be putting in some work here, but a bit of a shimmy. Losing the drive down the back stretch to Strandberg. And he has gained 1 spot from Gear. And now Watts looking to see if he can muscle his way in on the 84 machine. Sideline of Strandberg is open. As Strandberg, Hinchcliffe, and Glass, a very heated battle for that final podium spot. Watts knowing he's got a little bit fresher tires and willing to use them. Watts all the way back up into 4th. As Gear and Hinchcliffe battling out side by side, right beside, or excuse me, right behind. Hinchcliffe nowhere to go here. On board with number 8 of Hinchcliffe. That's Kevin Strandberg on the inside line, and take a look. Here comes Ken up in the 46. Gonna work his way up into the party. And look at that, Michael Watts back in the podium contention, making the move on Brian Glass. Now Steve Thompson, Eddie Jones running 1st and 2nd. Everybody's separated by about 3/4 of a second to 8/10 up front. still getting a little bit dicey inside the top 5. Dean Gear has worked his way back into 5th. Our hard charger up 18 positions so far. The lap time's not falling off too much. Drivers at this point in the run 2 seconds slower than they are. Fresh set of Goodyears underneath them. Now Gear also on fresher tires. His last time on pit road was lap 57. Have that KFC back Chevrolet checked over for any sort of damage. It looks like the top 3 starting to bunch up a little bit. Thompson has company from Eddie Jones and Michael Watts, who are not afraid to keep that pace on the up and up, keep things going. Got about 62 laps left in this main event. A little bit further back to Eddie Jones, trying to fend off Michael Watts. Watts on a very good run with those fresher tires underneath him, making it happen. Here comes Watts up the inside line against Jones in the number 14 machine. Now, interesting enough, Thompson isn't losing much time because Watts and Jones are just throwing haymakers at each other. Now, Dean Gear, our former hard charger, he's going to come down pit road early on lap 91. As Watts trying to make that second place move stick, but Jones staying right there with him. And meanwhile, they are gaining ground on Steve Thompson. A lot of smoke on pit road. Trying to take a look over there in a second to see what may be going on. Now at this point of the race, if drivers come down pit road, they should be good to go to make it till the end on fuel. And Dean Gear has been on pit road for a long time. Let's take a look and see what happened on his pit entry, see if something happened here. Looks a bit out of shape. Oh, I think he's going to get a little bit of a penalty there. So unfortunately, the KFC machine is going to get an unsafe pit entry. He leaves his pit stall after 55 seconds. And all that work for Gear is going to be undone. That's going to put Kevin Strandberg as the hard charger running 4th. He's up 15 spots in that 58. And it's going to be still a 3-car shootout for the lead. Thompson, Jones, Watts, separated by less than 0.4 of a second. Strandberg and Glass rounding out the top 5. But it looks like Strandberg closing the gap back there in the 58. On about 8 lap older tires than Watson third. And another great battle we have going on is John Hastings, John Hinchcliffe, the battle for 7th. Hastings, the number 32, he's up 13 positions. Hinchcliffe up on the high line, the number 8. He has lost 4 since he qualified. And just behind Ken Huff as well as Cam Shosey, closing the gap ever so slightly. The rookie triple-digit driver, the last driver on the lead lap, is still up 11 spots as he gets used to the Metro Ford Cup Series. Thompson and Jones linked up nose to tail. Watts has backed out of the run ever so slightly. This is a tough spot to be in as far as strategy goes. Do you come in early, grab fresh tires so you have fast lap times all the way out to the end? As right now drivers are over 2 seconds off their fastest laps of the race. As Watts makes that decision, he's going to come down pit road the 84 machine. Or do you do such as Thompson, Jones, Strandberg, Glass, Dodson, your current top 5? Stay out as long as you can if you're expecting a late race caution here. Michael Watts, John Hinchcliffe making their way into their pit stall. The top 8 opting to stay out. Let's see, Hinchcliffe going out of pit road is going to whittle it down to 8 drivers on the lead lap. Top 8 have yet to pit for their final time. Let's see, when are these top 8 gonna come down pit road? It's 50 laps left to go in this main event. Ken Huff comes down pit road in the 46 machine. This should be his final planned stop of the evening. Ryan Glass has company from Bert Dodson. Glass way up, almost against the wall there. As I think Thompson, yes, Thompson's going to come down pit road. His final planned stop of the evening. So Jones, Strandberg, Glass, your top 3. Just 6 drivers on the lead lap. Dodson and Glass still going at it here. Dodson working up the inside line. Everybody's still out on track. Came in around that lap 50 mark. Eddie Jones came in lap 51. There's Dean Gear trying to get a lap back in the 92 machine. After that pit road penalty, unraveling all that hard work he put in. Michael Watts also going to try and get a lap back. Ryan Lindsay, Cam Shosey down pit road. Godopishki also coming down pit road. He's about 15 laps down from the leaders. That's going to put 5 drivers on the lead lap that still need to pit. What is the call here? Are they maybe think there's going to be another caution? And not wanting to get trapped down a lap as Strandberg and Dodson also come down pit road. That just leaves your top 3 who have yet to pit here. And Eddie Jones has a massive 4.6-second advantage over Glass. You got the live timing tower pulled up on the left side of your screen so you can see where your favorite driver is. Let's see, now Watts has unlapped himself the old-fashioned way. Don Hastings down pit road. That's just going to leave Jones and Glass, the two drivers who still need to pit to make it till the end. And here gets one of his laps back. Let's see, Jones and Glass running first and second, about 8 seconds apart from each other. Have yet, oh, as I say that, Glass comes down pit road. That's just going to leave Eddie Jones wildly off strategy from the rest of the field. When is Jones going to finally come down pit road? He's been out on track, if I'm doing my math right, about 67 laps here. That Dwayne MacArthur? Well, I'm not sure when he got back out on track. Been almost 30 minutes on pit road. I don't think MacArthur can gain any positions here as there's nobody who has retired in front of him. Greg McDaniel down pit road for his final stop. When is Jones gonna finally come down here? I believe, barring any cautions, it should put Michael Watts as your race leader with a long way to go. Here we go, Jones down pit road for what should be his final planned stop of the evening. That's going to put, I believe, Michael Watts as your race leader. And yes, Watts takes over officially the race lead. And he's going to have a massive 6.5 second advantage over Steve Thompson. Let's see how this goes. A little bit further back, Eddie Jones working his way around Cottingham in the 114 machine. Cottingham spent about 33 seconds on his last pit stop. That was way back on lap 50. So Cottingham has yet to come down pit road in the 114. He's the driver really banking heavily on a caution. As I say that, almost causing one. Looks like he got a little bit out of control coming down pit road. Let's see what happened to the 114 machine. Oh, came in way hotter than he expected. And violently entering pit road. He will be sitting there for a little while getting a talking to from the officials. And then get back out and try and finish this thing up. Watch, just clicking off laps now. He is losing a 10th per lap to Steve Thompson in second. But we have whittled it down to 8 drivers on the lead lap. Our Chargers are going to be Ken Huff, Cam Josie, and Dean Gear running 4th, 7th, and 9th. All 3 of those drivers are up 14 positions. It looks like a large portion of the field barely stretched out here. Now taking a peek here, I think Watts looking good as Tom's gonna have a long way to close the gap and not a ton of laps left to try and make it happen here. Last time by, again, Watts was this time by Watts was a 10th faster. He did a 33.65 while Thompson clicked off a 33.74. You can see Ogle in the number 11 machine trying to get a few more laps back by the time it's all said and done. There's Ogle getting another lap back after his early problems tonight. Tom's clicking off laps a little bit further back. Stuff some good racing going on though. Here's Ken Huff trying to fend off Eddie Jones. Jones looking to the inside line. There's Dean Gear ahead. He's a lap down the 92 machine. As Jones just ripping it here. He stayed out very late to lap 110 before his final planned pit stop. At least 10 to 15 laps for tires and everybody underneath them, or ahead of him I should say. And he's going to try and close a 3.3 second advantage that Hinchcliffe has running in third. So Jones, I don't think he's out of it yet. Last time by, Jones ran 8 to 9 tenths faster than every driver in front of him. In the case of race leader Michael Watts, a full second faster. Does have a little bit of traffic to contend with. That's Strandberg in the 58. Jones closing the gap quickly to Hinchcliffe, down to 1.3 seconds. Almost a full second faster than anybody else in front of him out on the track. Wayne MacArthur's coming back down pit road after his massive hit earlier. And let's see, as here comes Jones. Jones looking up the inside line. Makes it happen, taking over the third place position. Still has his head down, still 1 second faster per lap than anybody else out in front of him. And he's gonna try and close that 2.8 second advantage that Steve Thompson currently has in second. Don't count Jones out of it yet, ladies and gentlemen. Now everybody out on track, at least that's on the same lap together. Very stretched out here as we get ready to tick it over to 25 laps left to go here at Kansas for the Metro Ford Cup Series. Waiting for the times to update. Last time by, Steve Thompson second, a 33.99. Jones, a 33.28. About 7/10 faster per lap. And I think Jones is about to have a rap at the chase. He can see the bright yellow 67 of Thompson in front of him. And let me tell you, as a racer, if you can see the competition, makes it just a little bit easier to dig deep, start charging forward. And let's see what Jones can do here. Here we go in the upcoming battle for second. Eddie Jones is putting the hammer down. Still about 6/10 per lap faster than everybody else in front of him. He's whittled it down to just about a half second behind second place driver Steve Thompson. Still have 19 drivers out on track out of the original 23 that entered here today. And Jones trying to measure up Thompson, a big lunge up to the inside line. And Jones will be able to take over the second place spot. Now the $1 million question, the race winning question. Got 22 laps and a 5.2 second disadvantage to Michael Watts. Is it possible to close that gap? In theory, if all things stay the same and Watts continues falling off as he is the same time Jones, if Jones can keep gaining a half second per lap, he will have more than enough time to make something happen. Again, if all things stay equal in the next 9 to 10 laps, so with about 10 to go, we could possibly, and it would be a comeback story, see Eddie Jones close the distance to Michael Watts and challenge for the race lead here. We're gonna pull up the live timing screen, the left side, so you can see just a little bit easier how this is shaping up and how Jones is gonna try and overcome a 4-second disadvantage to Michael Watts. But Jones did start this run on 13 lap newer tires than Watts. Watts came down pit road on lap 97. Jones for lap 110. We are I say very confident. I feel good in that assessment. Very confident that Jones, Watts, Thompson, really everybody inside the top 8 on the lead lap will be good to go till the end on fuel. As we check back in on Michael Watts, your race leader, I think he may have a little bit of traffic coming up with the likes of Cam Shosey, the newcomer in the 118 machine, who's tied for hard charger status, up 13 positions. Don't forget about Ken Huff in 5th. He's also up 13 spots in the 46. And Watts is a wily veteran. He may be saving a little bit here. As Jones' lap times have started to plateau. He did a 34.07 last time by in second. Watts with a 34.18 in the race lead. So no longer is Jones taking massive bites out of the advantage that Watts has here. Jones slowly making ground up, 3.3 seconds back from your race leader, 15 laps left to go. Jones currently about 3 seconds ahead of Steve Thompson. Gap for the first time in a long time, less than 3 seconds between race leader Michael Watts and second place Eddie Jones. Jones still about 4/10 faster that last time by, but starting to run out of time to make that advantage. Now I do wonder as well, is maybe Jones playing a little bit safer, trying to keep some tires left in reserve, as it looks like Bert Dodson has picked up the 6th place spot from Brian Glass in the 87. As everybody feeling the effects of tire wear. And Watts has a little bit of lap traffic. I think that's Shosey in the 118. No, that's MacArthur. Where did he come from? So Watts working his way through traffic. MacArthur involved in a massive incident early on in the race, just out here getting some more seat time, hanging out with friends. MacArthur running 19th, down 16 spots from where he started. But again, MacArthur, I believe, spent at least an hour in pit road. getting that machine hammered back into a drivable condition. And not doing too bad, staying relatively on pace with Watts. That could be tire wear as well. Watts came in on lap 97. Farther's last pit stop was on lap 82. Apparently the 83 machine, despite being up and battered, still having a pretty good run here, just clicking off laps. It'll be 10 laps left to go as Watts crosses the line. Still 2 3/4 of a second ahead of Eddie Jones, the number 14 machine. Ten laps left to go here at Kansas for the Metro Ford Cup Series. It's Watts, Jones, Thompson, Hinchcliffe, and Huff, your current top 5. And still Huff and Shosey remain our hard chargers of the evening, up 13 spots. Eight laps left to go. Jones no longer making the big strides he was earlier, but still good racing is happening across the track. As I think Bert Dodson had a big moment there in the 59 machine. That's going to give the spot back to Brian Glass. Top 5 not looking like it's going to change much unless Jones or Thompson can magically find some pace here. Jones still running about 2/10 faster than race leader Michael Watts, but with 7 laps left to go, that's just not enough laps to make something happen. We're watching this battle for 6 because there's going to be car-on-car contact. It's going to be here as Bert Dodson works back up the inside line, fighting to hold on to that 6th place position. Dodson hold on to the 6th place spot, about a 1/4 of a second up ahead of Glass's bright yellow Kodak back 87. 6 laps left to go. Michael Watts, your race leader, still holding a 2-second advantage as Watts and Jones clicked off almost identical lap times that time by. Watts a 34.39. Jones a 34.21. So all right, a little bit of pace still left out of Jones, 2/10 faster. As we check back in on the Raging Cajun Eddie Jones, he can see Michael Watts ahead of him down the back stretch, knowing he's got to make it happen. 5 seconds left to go. He's got more traffic to contend with. Distance has been broken from the 2-second mark. 1.8 seconds between Watts and Jones. Does Jones have anything left in the tank here? As Watts may have a little bit of traffic that he could either help or hinder his charge up towards the front. Now Watts started this off 4th in the playoffs. He's had 2 wins so far this season. Most recent one was at Watkins Glen. And then Michigan a few weeks prior, a very consistent podium finisher. But let's see how traffic's going to work out in the favor of Michael Watts, your race leader. We're 3 laps left to go here at Kansas. Brian Glass, Bert Dawson still in a heated battle for 6th. Now, if we can take the white flag, there will be no more restarts. No green-white checker attempts, as Watts still about 1.7 seconds up as he tries to work his way around Cam Shosey, the newcomer in the 118 Taco Bell Chevrolet. 2 laps left to go. Shosey goes high to allow the race leader by. Shosey was on lap 102 tires. 5 laps newer than Watts, but Watts just has the experience, and he's got the years of seat time on iRacing to make it happen. And the white flag will fly here at Kansas. Like Dwayne MacArthur almost had a moment there behind Shosey. Jones has closed the gap to 1.2 seconds, but not enough time for the number 14 machine. As Michael Watts is going to pick up his 3rd win of the season, his 1st win of the playoffs, and lock himself in. Eddie Jones will finish 2nd, and Steve Thompson will round out the top 3 here tonight. We're going to bring them down pit road for their photos. And we're going to let Michael Watts burn it down for the fans at home. Well done to the top 3, Watts, Jones, Thompson. A great finish all the way around. Wait for Michael Watts. Smoke him if you got him for the 84. A big win. And a great playoff result for the 84. We're going to try and get these top 3 drivers up here in the victory lane. As Watts continues obliterating those tires here. And Watts just reveling in the moment. We try and get these top 3 drivers up here into victory lane. Still waiting on Watts, Jones, Thompson to make their way to the booth. Looks like we've got Watts waiting on Thompson and Jones to make their way over. All right, just waiting on Steve Thompson to make his way up into the broadcast booth, and then we are ready to go here. What a good night. Just a few cautions and a lot of green flag racing and a fair amount of strategy that allowed Michael Watts with what I thought was a pretty big gamble coming down pit road very early compared to the rest of the field to pick up that third win of his season career. Still waiting on Thompson. There we go. So it looks like the gang's all here. And let's get this one started. Up first is Steve Thompson, the number 67 machine, up 4 spots. A great result all the way around, and looks like a multitude of strategies paying off there at the end for different drivers.
Yeah, it was a goofy race. I don't know what happened when Dwayne crashed. A bunch of guys got black flags, and then Eddie and I were leading, and we ended up like 7th and 8th. So I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, definitely uncharacteristic, and you're right. Between the penalties being awarded, MacArthur running out of talent, seemingly out of nowhere, I would describe it as a very uncharacteristic evening for you guys out on track.
Well, first of all, you can't run out of something you never had. So
Duly noted, but Steve, a good hard fought third, and yeah, once you guys got put back into 7th or 8th, did that kind of change the strategy for tonight to make it till the end?
no, I was planning on 50 lap stops. So I think I stopped a couple laps short there because I saw Watts pitted early, so congratulations to him for winning, and maybe Dwayne will keep his big mouth shut from now on.
I think I doubt that one, Steve, but still a great race all the way through, my friend. Before I let you go, what sponsors, friends, family you want to give a shout out that helped make tonight possible?
Yep, I want to thank my wife for supporting me in this effort, and I want to thank my sponsors. DrAmyHorniman.com if you're having thyroid issues or hormone issues or hair loss or you're fat, go check her out. She'll get you all fixed up. Great lady. She's got some different ways about going about things, so check it out. She's got free podcast, give you tons of free information, and you can also join one of her Facebook groups. She even looks at labs and stuff for you on there. So check it out, DrAmyHorniman.com. Thank you to RideTV.com, and I want to thank eMetroFord.com for sponsoring this series and all Patrick does for us. And if you're looking for a new Ford, go check out our custom ordering system. You can get your order put in, and as the order banks open up, we'll get your order put in, and you'll get your new Ford. That's the new way they're doing business. So, and thank you to you for all you do. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me, Steve. Great job, and looking forward to having you back up here next week, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That was Steve Thompson bringing it home in third. Up next, Eddie Jones, number 14 machine. A very hard-fought second after a very odd night, but looked like the strategy was paying off until the lap times kind of plateaued out at the end.
Yeah, just back and forth, back and forth. I knew with that folks started pitting on that first stop, and then we had cautions come out. I said, so that second stop, I said, hell, I'm just going to run a little longer and, see if I can catch a caution there. But it didn't, and I had to get up on it and drive hard. Just happy to get back where I got.
Now, Eddie, do you think those 10 lap newer tires than what Watts had was beneficial to you after all? Or, I mean, both lap times started to plateau right after that 40-50 lap mark, but it seemed like those fresher tires, you're able to take some big chunks out of the advantage he had up front.
Yeah, that last run right there, I just ran qualifying laps the last time. I just threw caution to the wind and went as hard as I could, just see if I could catch back up.
Oh, got very, very close. It was down to a second. I mean, you were as far back as 8-9 seconds at one point, I believe. So a great run all the way through after a odd day here at Kansas. But still great results, great playoff points, and looking forward to what the rest of the playoffs are going to hold for you. Before I let you go, Eddie, anybody want to give a shout out to or say thanks to that helped make that result possible for you?
It's like I say every week. It's my teammates. You know, I don't get to practice a lot because of football. The only practice I get Sunday morning, a little practice time we have there, and get to listen to what they're doing and throw it in the car and go learn to drive it.
Awesome. Eddie, always a pleasure talking to you. Hoping to see you do well at Bristol. And as always, thank you for your time, my friend.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Where did Ogle finish? Do we know?
Yeah, I think I've got it all the way back in 12th, I'm afraid.
That's horrible. All right, buddy. Good job today.
Thank you, sir. That's Eddie Jones throwing a little bit of salt in the wound of some friends. And up next, the man, the myth, the legend, the third season win of 2022, locking his way into the playoffs. Michael Watts, a great call on strategy, and looked like after that last stop, you were out there all by your lonesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of a gamble, but I mean, it paid off. This Lowe's Ford Mustang just ran awesome all day, and we had a really good long run car. Didn't have a lot of speed at the beginning of the run, but and I got lucky there because we had some issues with timing and scoring, and ended up getting a penalty passing the pace car when that first caution came out, or the second caution, and was able to serve my penalty. After the third caution, right after that, or the caution that came right after that, I was able to stay on the lead lap, and from there on, we just kind of worked our way up, and decided to short pit a little bit, and it paid off.
Now, Watts, talking about that short pit, talking to your crew chief spotter and looking at the relative, we saw Jones taking massive bites out of the time. At one point, he was a couple of seconds faster than anybody else out on track. Were you worried that you were going to not have enough laps to fend him off there late in the run?
Oh yeah. I was concerned, but I felt like it was the only way I was going to beat that guy. You know, if you do the same thing they do, you're just in the same boat as they are. So I knew he had a little bit more speed than I did, at least at the beginning of the run. So I was just hoping he'd kind of burn him up trying to catch me, and I guess he did. So we managed to kind of stabilize around 2 seconds, then down to maybe one there at the very end. I was really starting to get a little loose there at the end. The car is really free off the corners late in the run, and you have to kind of throttle steer it a little bit.
Now, Watts, you've picked up wins at track here tonight at Kansas. You've won at Watkins. You've won at Michigan this season. What's the plan going into Bristol next week, as well as the other tracks we have in the remaining round of playoffs?
Uh, Playing Bristol's just to survive. Really, I got a little lucky here. I don't win on ovals very much, but man, I'm gonna enjoy this one, just because, like I said, I don't win very much on ovals. Bristol, won there in ARCA before, but really, it's just about surviving that race. It can be very brutal. Half mile, a lot can happen real quick. So it's good that we're kind of into the next round, because you never know what will happen at Bristol.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I'm looking forward to the next round. So these guys are just really, really tough. So to get a win here is just it's amazing.
Awesome. Congratulations, Michael. You definitely earned it. The dominant driver out there this evening, locking up the top spot in the next round of the playoffs. Before I let you go, my friend, you've got the privilege, the pleasure, the final send-offs of the night. Who do you want to give a shout to that helps make this win possible for you?
I want to thank my family again for letting me do this. My wife, our anniversary's coming up. And I love her very much. And I want to thank Dwayne MacArthur for helping me this morning figure my way out around this track, because I was really struggling here for a while. Thank the league for putting on a good race.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike. Congratulations, and we look forward to have you back out here next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was Michael Watts finishing the top spot, locking his way into the next round of championship playoffs. Eddie Jones, Steve Thompson rounding out the top three with John Hinchcliffe and Ken Huff, your top five. As always, on behalf of the Metro Ford Cup Series here at the Old Bastards Racing League, as well as Victor Lane Sports, Kimball.net, and Dr. Amy, the Thyroid Fixer. My name has been James East on behalf of Team Goon Squad Broadcasting. Thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon with us, and I'll see you at the next one. Have a great day, everybody.